go. Okay, good, 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 good. Yeah, see, it tastes great, right? It's amazing. I mean, this is premium. Uh, but if, say, you're not going to be in a tropical locale, you're not going to be near a beach, you're not going to be near where like coconut trees and palm trees would end up being, right? Or if you're just like sort of worried about sort of being insensitive, we do have. Oh, okay. Just down you go, down you go. Okay, there you go. There you go. How are you? Oh my god, you're just a little person. Well, you're not really a person, are you? You're a little worm, right? A little wriggly worm. Okay, well, I'm glad I found you. I bet you're like very confused. That's totally fine, okay? Because I'm gonna explain everything to you and I'm gonna make sure you're rehomed, nice and happy. So, I was in my garden and taking care, morning routine, taking care of my plants, taking care of my, like my Japanese maple, taking care of my crepe myrtle, um, my blue acorns, like all of the fun stuff. And who do I see but you wriggling out of the ground? You're just doing a little wriggle. And I saw you and I was like, you're not good for the roots. Definitely not. But I definitely think that I didn't want to like just get rid of you, right? And it seemed like you were struggling. There were some birds sort of prowling around. So I scooped you up and brought you here into my Tailor studio. And I'm gonna help you by making you a new little home. Okay? Yeah. It's gonna be tailor made for you, the perfect sock. Yes, it'll be a sock for you. So, first thing that we're gonna need to do is figure out your measurements. I don't know, sort of worm culture and worm life. I don't know if you go to the bar at the end of the day or whatnot, if you stunted your growth. So I'm gonna have to measure you to make sure, like, lengthwise, like, were you split from another worm? Like, were you, just to see, like, what we're working with, right? So, just got my measuring tape. This will be nice and simple, right? Like, just a nice measurement and not too many, right? I just need your diameter, I need sort of your general length and your height, and then I need to figure out how much space to add onto that for your sock, right? So if you could stay still for me, I know it's a little bit difficult for your kind, but just stay still and I'm just gonna, there we go. Okay, wait, hold on. You're not staying perfectly still. Yeah, just stay still. Stay still for me, please. Okay. Okay. Good job. Okay. And so, with that, then we're going to do the diameter. So, just got to do a little. Hold on. Let's actually do it the other way. So, diameter. And this is your front-facing diameter, okay? So, just gotta really tighten it a bit. I know it's a bit uncomfortable. It's sort of like measuring your collar, right? Like your neck. Or not your neck, but my neck. So, there we go. Okay, that's good. And so now, if you could turn around for me, please. I'm gonna measure the other side. Yes, just turn around here. You can I'll give you a little push. Just a little, yep, just that way, that way. Okay, there you go. Okay, so this will be your back side, right? So, okay, yeah, oh, it's much larger, okay. Did you consume anything recently? Okay. Actually, it needs to be a bit bigger. A little squishing you. There you go. Okay. Perfect, perfect. And so, you're being a bit, like, wiggly. And so, I need you to really be focused on me. I know it's part of your nature. You guys can't really stop moving. So I think I'm going to put a bit of tape down. Do you think that will be helpful for you to stay still? Okay, yeah, good. Okay, then I'll just take a little bit of tape. There. Then just here. gonna place it here. Okay, no, it doesn't really, you still need a bit more. Here, let me grab some. Let me grab some for you. And, all right. Perfect. Then just bringing it in here, and there we go. All right, so now that you're still, we're gonna look at, first we're gonna look at fabric options. Then we're gonna do sort of soil, dirt options for you. That'll be real fun. And then I'm going to actually sew it up for you, okay? And you'll be able to live in your nice little home. So, first, I have my little thing. You're really lucky that I found you, if my partner found you, I don't think he would, he probably would have just tossed you away, but, I am a bit more forgiving than that. You didn't commit a sin, or, well, is being a worm a sin? I don't know. Would you love me if I was a worm? Is that the same as... Okay, so we've got this. This is a nice stretchy fabric. I use this a lot. It's sort of a blend. It's polyester cotton blend. And what's really good about this is that as you continue to grow, I'm not sure how old you are, how long sort of worms grow, but if you procreate, or, you decide that you really love your, your place of living, right? Like your home, it will expand with you, right? It obviously does have a limit to how much it would stretch, as you can see. But generally, it'll be pretty okay for your expansion purposes. Okay, so this is option 1. Okay, sort of more like family planning, right? Like this is like a baby boomer's like favorite fabric in terms of like family planning, right? So we'll start with this one, and then we have this. This is how I would describe this. It's sort of like a khaki, right? It's brown. It is 100% cotton. So it's it doesn't stretch at all, right? And this is really good if you want sort of like if you want your home to be biodegradable, right? If you're really like health conscious and like environment conscious, then this is something that, you can keep for a while as you sort of, get your life together. You were in my garden, it's freeloading. It's sort of, you're not even paying the mortgage. So I would say that like this is sort of to help you get your life back together, make sure that everything's good, and then just once you leave, this will just go back, or this could also be reusable, right? Like it's very easily mended compared to this one right here. See, this is option 1. So we'll put option 2. All of these obviously come in different colors for your sock. So do not mind the different colors. You see, like this one comes in like white, black, navy, pink, yellow, whatever, and then the same. So you do not have to worry, okay? So next, we will go with this. So this is a similar stretchy fabric, except this is 100% polyester. This is full plastic. Unlike this one, this is a blend. So over time, this will degrade, but the polyester will sort of keep it together. And it's just mainly so that for future planning, right? As we discussed before. This, however, is like, the bunker of socks. This will be like if you're like, the world is burning, the world's gonna end. I don't have time to think about where I'm gonna be, once something happens, right? Like, what if someone steps in your land, right? Like, what if someone has like, I don't know, like steel-toed shoes and they step where you live? This is gonna help you, right? Like, this is not going to be destroyed from that. And then you also have like all the different predators, right? Birds will have a hard time because they won't see this as fluff for their nest, and so they won't come looking, they won't come digging. This is sort of like, if you're anxious, if you have like anxiety, not social anxiety, but just general anxiety, I would say this is probably the option to go, right? So this is option number 3. And then we've got here option number 4. This is sort of a light blue. And this one actually is, you may not look it, but this is actually one of these newfangled fabrics. They call it bamboo, but it's not actually bamboo. I mean, it kind of is. The way that it's made, I'm sure you're very interested as a worm, but the way that it's made is that it's chemicals are used with bamboo to sort of like strip it, and then they pull threads out of it. So what ends up happening is that it creates this like nice cooling effect, but it is natural, right? Like it's kind of natural. And so this will be if you plan on going to sort of a warm place, right? Like if you plan to go to sort of like a beach or any form of sort of like tropical locale, I would say that this is going to be your best bet to keep you cool during those like warmer times, right? Yeah. So this is option 4. And then we just have one more option left. So no, you're not going to be inundated with too many choices. This one right here is a nice blue, but it's actually 100% synthetic, but it is not polyester. I don't remember the exact make. However, this one is one that you should. This is the cheap option. This is the option that you go with if you feel like, you just need something for right now, and you don't need to worry about the environment. You don't need to worry about anything really, and you're not worried about your sock like existing and like microplastics. Like that is not a concern to you. This would be the option to go with. It's fairly robust, and so this is option 5. So we've got option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4, and option 5. Which one do you think you would like? Okay. You're a little uncertain, but you're sort of leaning towards family planning, baby boomer sort of fabric, but you're also you want the also option 2, like something that would to be environmentally conscious, save the turtles and all that. I totally understand. Okay, we'll put these away, and we'll just put these 2 off to the side, okay? We don't have to decide right now. And you know what? I can even make you 2 different socks, right? I basically double, like 2 properties is what I would be giving you. So perhaps it's your lucky day that I picked you up from the garden. But this is all of my different fabrics. Where did I put that? There it is. One moment. Okay, so I have 3 different soils, sort of dirt, for you to examine and figure out. It's sort of like the foundation of your home, right? It's what we're going to put in the sock. It's what you're really going to be like burrowing and living in. So you really want to get comfortable with what we're doing. And, if you can't choose one, that's totally fine. We can do a blend of different soils and, different things. So, it's totally going to be okay no matter what we decide. But let's just get started, right? So the first one here, this one is a coconut shell soil. It's like very premium, right? Like this is if you have to ask for it, you can't afford it type of soil. if you were just like a worm living out by yourself, then you wouldn't really come across this very much. You'd have to put yourself in danger, right? You'd have to go near humans. You'd have to go near animals that would consume coconuts. And you'd have to hope that they leave like sort of the shreds of the coconut to then like be buried into the dirt. So the benefits of this is that it's very nutrient rich, very, very good for you, right? Like this is sort of I have like a Vitamix and I make smoothies every day sort of soil. However, this would mostly be appropriate for sort of more of, again, like a more tropical setting, a more like warm setting. You don't want to like culturally appropriate by using this and then living like, I don't know, living in the Arctic, right? Like it really wouldn't work. And people, the other worms would sort of like look at you and be like, well, why do you have that? Like what is this part of your heritage? And maybe it is, I don't know what worm you are, but we don't live near sort of near like a tropical locale, so I would assume you didn't make it very far. But excuse my ignorance if you did, I don't know how world traveled you are as a worm. Yes, so from here, we're going to give it a good sniff just to see how you like it. And then we're going to have like a nice little taste, okay? So nice and simple. There we go. So just give it a nice little sniff. Yeah. What do you think? See, it smells earthy, but it doesn't smell. It's not strong, right? It doesn't have that like that sharp metallic smell that a lot of soils end up having, right? So this is option 1. And here, let's give it a nice taste so that you would kind of understand. Here, I have a little spoon. Okay, so here you go. Okay, good. Yeah, see, it tastes great, right? It's amazing. I mean, this is premium. But if, say, you're not going to be in a tropical locale, you're not going to be near a beach, you're not going to be near where, like, coconut trees and palm trees would end up being, right? Or if you're just, like, sort of worried about sort of being insensitive, we do have other options, right? So we have this option here. This is just a general deciduous blend, but it is bonsai soil, right? So this is also going to be fairly nutrient rich, not as nutrient rich as the coconut. However, this is very, it drains very quickly. It doesn't hold on to water very well. And so this will be really good for very water heavy places, right? If you live somewhere near the north where it snows, where where you're going to have a lot more rain, then this is going to be a really, really good option because it's not going to hold on to that rain, right? You're not going to drown in your own home. So it's a really, really good option in terms of what kind of lifestyle you would end up having when you have this. I would say this is sort of like the middle class of soils. It's more of, well, I wouldn't say it's middle class, but it's certainly the top 1% are going to look down on you if you have this soil, right? The top 1% of worms are definitely going to look down on you. They're not going to be very happy, and they are going to take away your rights. And they might ban this in the future. You never know. But this is just something to just keep in mind. It might be something that you need. But that's okay. This is still useful. So, let's give it a nice whiff, right? Let me put this spoon down and just give it a nice open here. There we go. So give it a nice sniff here. Yeah. Okay. Well, what did you think of the smell? Yeah, right. It has like a nice a sort of very I want to say monotone, but it doesn't have any it's not harsh. It's not a harsh smell, right? It's very subdued. You know, when I sniff it, what I smell is sort of like the absence of a smell, right? It leaves you feeling calm, serene, but also potential, opportunity, right? The opportunity to rise, the opportunity to the American dream, one might say. Like, what the world's your oyster with this. So let's just give it a nice taste, to see if the taste is similar to your liking, right? So. Great. So here you go. Okay, great, wonderful, wonderful. So how did that taste for you? Good. Yeah. See, it has that taste sort of is very it's very similar to the smell. It has sort of like, it's not bland per se, but it's like tasting a cloud, right? It's completely devoid of anything that would be harsh. Yeah. Okay. So let's put that aside, and let's get the last one, right? And the last one's right here. This one is actually lava rocks. So this is not soil per se, but this is sort of the alternative rock, right? The alternative soil. This is sort of the, like, I live off the grid, I'm in a cabin in the woods, you know, I don't want anyone to come near me sort of soil. It definitely has a lot of connotations to it, but if you don't care what other people think of you, then this is the premium option. It doesn't matter what other people think of you anyway, and besides, living by yourself, fending for yourself, that's what it's all about, right? So this is definitely a premium option for that kind of lifestyle, right? The, like, sort of lava rocks are meant to sort of signal to other people that not only are you environmentally conscious, you're actually an environmental, like, adventurer, right? You are a worm that survived climbing, like, the mountains and soaring through the skies. So you are definitely, like, one to, like, look out for, one to, like, sort of see. You can also use it if you're not much of an adventurer. You can also use it, and that's totally fine. You're just sort of going to be looked at, if you're living in sort of like a suburban neighborhood, you're sort of going to get looked at the way that some people are going to look at you a little funny, right? It's sort of like when you don't have a lawn. You know, it's environmentally friendly and pretty nice, but, like, there's some people that are judgy for no reason. You know, it's just something to keep in mind. And so we'll start with this and just give it a nice sniff, right? So this does have, you will have to keep in mind that this was harvested fairly recently from lava, so it is going to be a little bit warm, so try not to get yourself a little too cooked, okay? So just give it a nice little sniff. Okay, now is that? Yeah, it's good, right? It's sort of, the heat sort of burns off most of the, like pretty bad smells, and what you end up smelling is more chemically than you expect, right? Yeah, because it's sort of burning everything. So it's pretty good in terms of smell, but let's give it the nice, like, reliable taste test. So let's just, here you go. Okay, no, okay, you didn't really like that taste very much. That's okay. You know, it's good to know what is good and not good. Yeah, taste is a little bit hard, right? Because it is lava rock. It's not very nutritious, and it is meant more as like a statement, right? So you don't have to worry too much. We don't have to use that if you don't want to, but it's also still an option, right? So from here, we have your soil, that you picked out. We have some fabrics. So let's just move on and get to sewing and tailoring. Yeah? Alright, so I'm sure this is very confusing to you as a worm. I'm sure you haven't seen this sort of crazy contraption. But don't worry, I'm just going to try a bunch of, we're just doing testers, right? So I'm going to take this fabric, and I'm going to take this fabric, and I'm just going to sort of sew up a little pocket for you so that you can test it out, and then we'll figure it out later, okay? So don't worry too much about it. This is my little sewing machine. Little is a bit of an interesting thing. Here is the little switch. So I'm just going to take this here and sort of do my little thing and sew it, right? So let's just put that in and do that. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I just need to move this. Yeah, I'm sure this is very confusing to you, but this is 100% how you sew. If you go to any tailor or any person, this is how it's done. This is like an expert's view of what happens when you sew, right? You definitely have to do all of this. But don't worry, I'm sure if you're very interested, you could be my apprentice, but that's okay. I'm sure I would have to turn you down because you are a worm. Don't forget where you come from, sort of thing. People are best suited for different things. And I'm sure a worm would have a very difficult time, of course, but don't worry too much about that. So let's just, okay, and then, so we've got this. So this is the first one that I'm going to hand to you, and you can try it out, okay? And then the second one, of course, is going to be this. This is going to be a little bit more difficult because it's more of like a strip, so I'm going to have to fold it over here. Let me just, is this, yeah, that's good. So I'm going to actually move some of these threads. Okay, so let's just start right here. And, okay. Then let's just do it. And get that in there. Okay. And bring it out. There we go. Oh, look at that. It's perfect. It's great. I'm doing a wonderful job. You're really lucky. But yeah, so if you recall, after I'm done with this, and once we choose sort of the specific sock, I could do a blend of the two if you'd like. It would be sort of the worst of both worlds because there would be a seam point, or like a seam, not a seam point, but just a seam across your sock. But if that's what you would prefer, I can do that. But don't worry too much about that. What I need you to think about is where you want to be, right? Like, because once we're done, I am gonna have to put you somewhere, and you're definitely not staying here. It's I'm generous, but generous to I have my limits, is what I'm trying to say. So once I'm done with this, okay. Alright. There we go. So I'll put this for you right here. And you can try both of them out. Okay. Well, I'll be right here and we'll figure it out.